Microphone check 1, 2. This is DJ Torch on the 1 and 2. I hope you can hear me okay. We're going to go get right into it right now. I'm going to start off with some warm-ups, let everybody file on in, and then we'll get right to the meat of the matter, as we can call it. Anyway, let's let Dr. Aldwin Tart tell us what's going on. I thought I would have some experts talk to you about the situation instead of listening to all the rhetoric that's going on out there. Here we go.
I'm going to tell you everything that went wrong with the Klay Thompson, Meg Thee Stallion relationship. And I'm going to break it down bit by bit. Stay with me. Number one, I'm going to break down why some men cannot do monogamy. I'm going to talk about the 3 types of men who specifically cannot do monogamy and break it down. Then I'm going to talk about the obvious, the beauty trap that a lot of women believe that it is about how great you are in influencing how men treat you. All right. And then 3, I'm going to break down Meg's trauma history, not in a way that opens her up and puts her business out there, but in a way in which you can understand how unhealed trauma actually creates the dynamics that you don't want, attracting people who are harmful versus those who are protective. And I'm going to talk about why women don't assess these things and how you should, so you don't fall for what happened to Meg moving forward. And then I'm going to give you 5 strategies to detect a true man's intentions up front so that you can avoid this type of heartache.
This is some great information. Let's see if he can deliver. He can deliver on this. Doctor, if you can deliver on this, you can help and save a lot of people. Here we go.
My name is Dr. Aldwin Tart, clinical psychologist for the past 28 and 30 years, and we're going to dive in. So listen, Meg cooked for this man's whole family at Thanksgiving, right? She bought him, but she had Bone Thugs and Harmony, his favorite group, perform for him for his birthday, right? She was at the court side watching him play basketball during one of his worst seasons, and then dating him only to find out later that he cannot do monogamy, right?
At least he found out before he put a baby in her. You know, that's one good positive that came out of this. Let's hope. Let's hope. Shout out to I Said What I Said and to Tevin. And if y'all want to come up, just tell me to drop the link. Because I need to get some input on this. Here we go.
Right? She said on her Instagram, cheating had me around your whole family playing house. Got cold feet. All right.
Now, let's pause that because a lot of people out here are trying to paint, Megan as a liar. But you saw her make those videos of her cooking for his family, for Klay's family. So, and y'all still want to call her a liar. You saw the truth, but you don't want to accept it or acknowledge it. And it gets worse, especially with the dudes. Y'all did way too much. Here we go.
Holding you down through your horrible mood swings and treatment towards me during your basketball season.
Let me key up. Mood swings is a bad sign. Mood swings means that basically there's something already wrong. And who would want to be or marry somebody who's going to have probably something worse than mood swings later? If you know what I mean. When they get you hooked, then you start seeing all that. And I have to admit, I did have a little concern when he was late to pick her up from the airport. That kind of did hit me a little bit weird. I know it happens, but that's kind of weird. Shout out to Deontay in the house. Here we go.
And now you don't know if you can be monogamous? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Then she told TMZ, trust, fidelity, and respect are non-negotiable for me in a relationship. And when those values...
That's what teed off the manosphere. They don't want women to have expectations from men. If you look at all of the men that the black manosphere respect, all of them at the very best have a checkered past. And you're going to see more of that later on tonight. They all have a checkered past, especially when it comes to relationships. Especially when it comes to relationships.
There's a compromise. There is no real path forward. Listen, now I want you to understand this with
they despise her. That's why they're giving her all the nastiness, because they didn't like the way she told him to kick rocks. They didn't like that. They thought that one, either she should continue to put up with the cheating, or two, just not say anything. And the reason why they don't like it is because they've heard it themselves. They've been told to kick rocks. These red pill dudes are the worst. I'm telling you. If somebody, I have never ever met a decent red pill dude. Well, maybe one, maybe Darnell, who's kind of like on the verge. He's kind of like in the middle. But all the red pill dudes, on all the dudes who pretend not to be red pill, but are red pill, like Big J. Yeah, they ain't no good for nobody. Let's keep it going. Here we go.
Every sincere bone in my body. Meg right here is not to blame. She does deserve love. I got the backstory from talking to my oldest daughter and my wife, and they were just like, Meg deserves love. And I looked at her and I was like, man, it's hard when you're tired of getting the life sucked out of you if you are subconsciously giving people the straw to do it. And all right. And this is equally about Klay. So we're going to break it down. We're going to break this thing down so that you understand this. I want you to apply this to your life. So let's start with the psychology of men who cannot do monogamy. First of all, I want you to understand that there are the majority of men, all right, who can do monogamy. They've done monogamy in their past. They had one girlfriend in middle school, in college, in high school, in grad school, in life. They want monogamy. They want legacy. They want family. They want to do things the right way. Now, I'm not saying these are necessarily perfect men, but definitely what they want is monogamy. I want you to understand that exists, because if you believe that all men cheat, no men want monogamy, you're misinformed. You can look at Barack Obama. Let's keep it basketball. His teammate, Steph Curry, his teammate, Draymond Green, people who came into the league around the same time. Russell Westbrook. Come on now. These men, CJ McCollum, Nikhil.
Let's be careful now. I think let's be careful now, because the thing is this. If you've noticed in the manosphere, they literally promote promiscuity. They were literally happier that Klay broke up with Megan and was, how they put it, stacking him up as far as his cheating on other women than they were that he was in a relationship that seemed to be a fulfilling relationship for both people. That's how bad. See, this is further exposure of how toxic manosphere men are. Let me keep it going.
This one, Nikhil's a little younger, but you get what I'm saying. There are men in the league who have been around him and played and have the same temptation, same access to women, but the way they look at marriage, the way they value monogamy, being with one woman, is completely different. But I want you to look at the research. I want you to look at something called
and this is he is a bona fide doctor. And the statement he made right there just countered every single statement coming from Kevin Samuels. Because if you notice, Kevin Samuels never talked about monogamy. He never talked about men, you need to be loyal, did he? Never. He never talked about that. In fact, he was saying that, one, if you're a high value man, you can, didn't he say you could cheat? He sure as hell did. Not only that, but you guys see, these people see in real time that theory does not work. A good, perfect example is Sharon Moore. He was with Becky. He still cheated on her. Look at the results. Look at the results. He is out of he is out of $15 million. And his whole career is trash because of him. That's what the Kevin Samuels theory does for men. It destroys your life. Let me keep it going. Here we go.
Your sexual orientation. All right. And you, because you need to know who you're dating, right? I'm taking notes, right? So this comes from evolutionary psychology, right? So on one end, you have men who are hardwired and prepared for monogamy and desire it and do the work. And even men that struggle. Come on, cue up Jay-Z and Gucci Man. Well, I'm struggling with this. Let me go ahead and get some help. Let me lock in. Let me figure some things out. Kevin Hart, let me figure some things out. And
by the way, I'm glad he brought up Kevin's Hart, because I believe let me confirm that right now, but I believe Kevin Hart is getting a divorce now. Let me find out. Yes. Let me bring up the facts. I like to bring them facts up on the screen. Uh-oh, hit the wrong button. Hold on one second. Okay, where are we at? Here we go. Okay. So let me make it a little bit larger, a little bit more legible. Based on recent reports, rumors suggesting that Kevin Hart and his wife, Nicki Hart, are getting divorced appear to be unfounded. Okay. Unfounded speculation. Let's dig it deeper. Yeah, but Kevin cheated on Nicki a couple times. And so she's tolerating it. And that's what these men want you to do. They want you to tolerate that shit. They want you to tolerate it. Here we go.
And try to do this thing again, try to make myself right, try to figure out whatever went wrong, because I do want to make relationships work. But then there's also three types. There's three types of men, and I believe Klay was at least two of them. All right, so number one is the anonymous non-monogamous. All right, so think of your Nick Cannons, think of your Futures, think of the men that just say, you know what, I don't really do the one woman thing. Just not for me. I've never done long term. I don't see how men do this. I'm not built this way. I believe in variety. So if you're going to be with me, realize that I really am never going to settle down. It is what it is. Come on now. And then there's number two, the performative committer. And this is the man that's the most difficult to decode. This definitely has elements of Klay Thompson, in my opinion. He does not lie about loving you. Often he does. He is trying his best. He is putting his best foot forward a lot of the times, right? And trying to be something that he's not. All right. But over time, he always reverts back. Not always. He reverts back to who he was. It's like someone that likes a shiny car. They get a Porsche, but then it wears off about 90 days. Doesn't make you feel any better. Doesn't make you feel cool. So then you go get a Bugatti. Then you go get a Jaguar. Then you go get a Mercedes Benz. Then you go get.
And to me, this is how most manosphere men think. No, I'm sorry. I'm being too nice. They from the big get-go want to use you.
New Audi, you're always switching cars.
This is like the next level of men that, 41 Shades of Men. The next level of men that he's talking about. These are the men that are kind of in the middle, that even though they try, they're going to fail. They're going to fail as being a loyal man.
It's not the Porsche's problem. It's not the Mercedes problem. It's the fact that it ran out of thrill. It stopped making you happy. Now, there's a darker element to the performative committer. That's the committer that's like, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to like this. I'm trying to like Meg the Stallion. I want to make this work. Right? I just came out of a relationship, if you Klay. Use Coco Jones and see her happily married to a man who chooses monogamy and Donovan Mitchell. Right? I'm gonna try to make this work. I see my parents. These are all things that I'm imagining, Klay was thinking, but there's also a darker side where there are men that know darn well they don't want marriage, but they don't want to be alone. So they have to perform. You have to say the right thing.
Yeah.
This is more of that narcissist. This is more of that manipulator that
Yep,
tells you
shoot, this is nailing a person I know right now. Yep, this is him.
all the things that you want to hear, right? Because I need you to love me deeply. I don't want to just transactional relationship. I don't want to pay for sex. I don't want to use you for sex and know that I'm going to move on. And then you do the same to me because you're not going to take me seriously. No, I want a deep love, right? Right. So I'm going to have to tell you things that you need to hear to bring you in so I can get the real high quality love, but not provide that in response. I want to believe that Klay was the first type of performative committer because I don't want to believe that he had her around his whole family, who seems to have high morals, only to embarrass her. I just don't want to believe that.
Notice how he said he doesn't want to believe that. And this is the problem that Klay has right now, is that basically he's on the twilight of his playing career. And his next step was going to be in an industry that having a bad reputation is not good. And he should have, that's going to be the ultimate problem that Klay is going to have. Because Klay, and you got to make it clear, Klay lowered his own value. Megan was just the test and he failed the test. That's all. Megan was just the test and he failed the test. That's all you can say. Let's move on forward. If you want to see the remaining video of Dr. Alden Tart, check him out. He's on YouTube. It's probably very easy to find. I wanted to give you his perspective. Now I'm going to give you Pretty Black Magic's, Misha's perspective right now. Here we go.
Well, you know I got to put my little 15 cent in on this shit here. Furious fans rallied to Megan Thee Stallion after breakup with Klay Thompson. So, let me tell you something about biracial Tyrone. He ain't no different than full-blooded Tyrone. I see black women all the time, will pick up with a dude like this and think because his mama is white tea that he's somehow better. I said, well, don't forget, he still got that nigga gene from his nigga daddy. And a lot of these dudes ain't shit. I can tell you from personal experience, I have met quite a few athletes, never dated any, but I have met quite a few and hung out with some. And I can tell you right now, these dudes are something that you hang out with, have fun, and throw them back to the streets. You do not take serious. You do not post them on your social media and buy homes and move in and become their baby mamas and all that shit. Because I can guarantee you, eventually somebody's going to come out the woodwork and say, that's my man. I'm with him. I'm dating him. I'm fucking him and yada, yada, yada. So we all know the Canes, they have been coming out hard and heavy. And I even saw this trashy white boy on TikTok talking his shit. And I was like, I know you're not running your mouth about Meg Thee Stallion because last time I checked, J-Lo can't keep a man. She been ran through.
Right.
What is this
And that's
girl's
the
name?
thing is that, don't you find it funny? And I'm going to bring up that nasty meme in a minute, but don't you find it funny that black men do not? Kim Kardashian probably has at least 10 times the bodies that Megan has. And look at the way those black men still love her. That if there's not a telltale sign of self-hating bigotry, there you go. I mean, Kim Kardashian's whole career as far as being popular, is based on a Mex tape. Literally. It's based on corn. So you see the type of respect black men give Kim Kardashian. And you see the type of smoke they give Megan Thee Stallion. This whole thing blowing up has really little to do with Meg and Klay, and it has to do with the psychology of red pill men. And there's a lot of people say, well, no, the red pill's only like, maybe 15, 20. I think red pill men, I think it's more like 60, 70% of the men in our community are red pill. Because the good doctor, as you saw, broke it up into three kind of pieces of the types of dating option for men. Red pill is definitely is 99% of red pill men. They're in section 2 and 3. If you're lucky, they're in section 2, but most of them are in section 3.
Name Taylor Swift. She can keep a man. She been with everybody. And Kim K, everybody took a turn on that nasty bitch. And Madonna, she went with a gang of people. I went down the list on my community wall, and I said, why is that when it's a black woman who dates one of these demons and, it doesn't work out here, they come out the woodwork? I mean, they have been going in left and right. What is this nappy-headed nigga's name? Stephen A. Smith with his old ass looking like a mule in the face. Everybody has something to say. And I said, you know what? It's unfortunate.
And the funny thing is this, if you've noticed, the men that are the most vocal are the ugliest ones and the most 304-ish ones. Those are the men that usually are the ones that are being the most vocal or calling a woman a 304, calling a woman not marriage material, even though they themselves have they're in section 1 of what the doctor was talking about. They're just basically bucks. Yeah, Stephen A. has 2 children with 2 women, and it's not a big deal at all unless you talk shit. Throwing big old rocks from my glass house. Let me keep it going. Here we go.
That Meg Thee Stallion hasn't learned to stay by herself. I know her mother passed away, her father passed away. I can only but imagine, because my parents are still here. I can only but imagine what she's going through, not having anybody, not a real support system. When nice looking girl like this, you're famous. I believe she has a degree from Texas A&M. You really don't have anybody you can trust. You really don't have good friends. And that goes for regular black women in the real world. I'm what you would call a recluse. I know people, but I don't know people. I'm friendly with people, but yet I keep you way over there, super duper far away from me. I have a rule. I keep people out of my face, out of my house, out of my life, and out of my personal business. That's why a lot of shit I don't post on here or overshare. I talk about it, some things on my Instagram, Other than that, for everybody to hear here, no, because it's none of your motherfucking business.
She is absolutely right. I want to go over an excellent point she made later in the video. Let's see, where is it at? Right. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Okay.
So that's just 15 plus. That's a lot of women. And he got all them kids. This dude here, he pretended long enough, and then his real true self came out. So it don't take long. I could have told her, don't get too excited. So let me see what else did I want. Oh, Future. He got what? How many kids? But how many baby mamas? I think he got like what? About 9 kids, a couple of baby mamas. How come?
Right. He's got like at least 9. He might be up to 10 kids right now. And here's the effed up thing about it. Megan doesn't have any kids. Megan does not have any kids. But do you see these men walking around calling Future a 304? A Dusty? Pookie and Ray Ray? No, they don't. They think because just he has a little bit of money, though he was complaining a little while ago about not having enough money for his 10 kids. So, see, if you're a male, you can hoe out and basically, the same men that would disrespect Megan, they'll respect Future. The Future, we know Future has a lot more bodies than Megan does. Even if you want to do that bullshit male theory where it's different, even when you factor that BS in, he's still got a ridiculous amount of bodies.
Because they don't call him a bunch of hoes. Look at Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
Woo, you talking about community dick. He done been with everybody. So that's just 15 plus. That's a lot of women. And he got all them kids. We're not going to even talk about DMX. He got how many kids, but how many different women? DMX.
Right. And here's what bothers me is you don't see those men making or women making memes of women lining up to get with and have the babies of these men. But they, as soon as these sickos had the opportunity to do that to Megan, they did not hesitate.
Has a lot of kids. So here it is once again. Hip hop's pictures post. So rappers with the most kids from 7 to a shocking 22 children. And NBA Youngboy, I think he has more kids than that. So this might be kind of old. He has a lot.
Where you at, Angry Man? Where you at, Saint? Why aren't you talking about this shit? Oh no, you can't talk about this shit, can you? Because he either done it or you'll piss off the rest of your men that are in your chat.
To babies. I think he's up to maybe like 14, 15 by now, or something like that. So another dude named Jay Fizzle, he got like 31 kids. So they can call black women all these names, but guess what? You community that Jay Fizzle has 31 children and say he has 3 more babies coming soon. This means the total could reach 34 kids. Wow. And
Breeders. I mean, it's.
And let me see. Back to this again. So well,
let me pause it right there. If you want to see the rest, just check out Pretty Black Misha. You got to check that out. I mean, that's just crazy to me. So I want to bring up the part for the
a baby
video
girl.
that's been.
And within 24
and I'm
hours,
glad to see
he deleted that photo of his baby girl because.
Let me pause that for 1 minute. This you need to hear. I'm going to just keep my mouth shut. You got to hear this one. This is the meme that's been going around all over the place. Yeah, I said, how can you keep up with 31 kids? You don't. You simply don't. Yeah, he didn't have those kids to take care of the kids. He had those kids because he wanted to control 31 women. Here we go. I'm going to have this young man break it down for you. Here we go.
Shit, knowing damn well half of you motherfuckers would rap. The weird motherfucker behind this account uploaded this days after posting his own daughter, a baby girl. And within 24 hours, he deleted that photo of his baby girl because everyone in the comments section was rightfully getting on his ass about that weird ass shit. Because how do you go from posting that, which is something wholesome, to now posting an image to slut shame a black woman? And then gonna have Klay Thompson in the back with some flowers as if he's not the one that fucking cheated. I don't even like Megan like that, and images like this make y'all look so fucking stupid. Black men's hatred for black women needs to be studied, because ain't no way y'all came out the woodworks to shit on Megan some more, but not talk about the dozens of black women that were just murdered by their black partners, their black husbands. None of y'all been addressing that shit that's been happening for the past 2 weeks. And then people try to tell y'all, imagine if that was your daughter or your sister or your mother, and you motherfuckers lie out y'all teeth talking about some, oh, that ain't never gonna be any of the women in my life because I'm a real man and I know how to keep them up. Bullshit. Knowing damn well half of you motherfuckers would rather be deadbeats than listen to the baby mamas in the broken homes that y'all create. And then here comes the comments. Oh, you pandering, you a simp, oh, you anti-black. Where the fuck is the accountability? When are y'all going to look in the mirror and ask yourselves, why the fuck do y'all think like this? You niggas need to get y'all shit the fuck together.
Klay Thompson has exposed the absolute hatred black men have for black women better than Kevin Samuels did. He has exposed them to a depth that I don't think we were even ready to handle. I've been saying for at least 3 years now, maybe longer, that this is a season of exposure. And you know, seasons can go on for generations. And this is somehow worse. And we all know how bad Kevin Samuels was. And then to hear his supporters still to this day, well, you know, when he first started, he was on the men. Yeah, but the men didn't make him any money. So he got on women and never let up.
Right.
He got worse and worse.
He got worse
as they gave him more and more power.
Mm-hmm.
At least with the Kevinette beef blowers, we knew what we were dealing with because it was a certain type of male, you know, dusty, busted, angry, bitter, broke. We knew what we were ugly. We knew what we were dealing with them. But now, this is something sinister. And especially with all of the unalivings that have been happening back to back to back to back to back by the hands of these creatures. This is something different. It's something vile. It's evil at this point. At first, it was just mean, and we know that they were just mad that we were leaving them behind and that they didn't take advantage of the same things that we have, like college, job opportunities. They were just waiting to ride for free off of our hard work. And when we said no, that needed to stop. That's when they got angry. So we knew what we were dealing with. But now, my 30th anniversary of graduating from my beloved Cheney University is this year, 1996. My 30th year is this year. And I'm not going to homecoming because of how the males who I thought were my brothers, the males who I would have laid my life down for because I thought that we were family. Not after this.
Let's keep this show rolling. Let's see what old Stephen A. Smith has to say.
You're not watching TTV Network.
Let me bring it up. Hold on 1 minute.
Even being able to tell his side. So the whole world is Judge Klay without even hearing Klay's side. I want you to think about that.
The bottom line is this, is that all you needed. The funny thing is this, is that they're all trying to say, oh yeah, you know, let's hear Klay's side. Let's hear Klay's side. You don't want to hear you don't need to hear his side. You just look at his past. Well, let's keep it going. Let's see if he even talks about Stephen A. Smith. That's all, the only one part I want to see. See this right here? Okay, so no, he doesn't. I don't want to hear somebody talk about Stephen A. Smith. I want to listen to Stephen A. Smith speaking out of his own mouth about Stephen A. Smith and what he thinks. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on 1 second. And he might have deleted that shit for all we know. Because I heard it was some trash. And remember, Stephen A. Smith is a hoe himself. You know, it's funny that he's such a hoe, but oh yeah, it's right here. Let's play it right here. Hold on one second.
He liked being single. Now, I ain't here to tell a man's business because I would never do that.
You do it all the time. What a hypocrite already. Here we go.
Asking, why is she telling his business?
See, you're listening from the mindset of a cheater. Okay? This is not and that's the problem. There's so many men that are just low-hanging fruit. I don't care how much they make. Remember now that whole Kevin Samuels, that high-value man thing, that was made up by men that can't keep a woman. Yes, I repeat, that can't keep a woman, but can buy a woman. But their personality is so trash, they can't get a woman by just being themselves. They have to pay something. And this fool right here who interviewed Anton Daniels is right now giving you his biased view. That's why it's so dangerous right now. It's a dangerous time because you have abusive men in the mainstream that are way worse than whatever kind of supremacist situation that might be out there. This is worse because these dudes are right there in the neighborhood with you.
Where I want the ladies to listen. I'm sick and tired of what's going on in this world. I'm not saying whatever she felt was wrong. I don't know what happened in their relationship. Don't want to know. Ain't none of.
Then why doesn't he just shut the hell up then? If he doesn't know what's going on, right? Why is he even bringing it up? It makes 0% difference to him. He's bringing it up because it gets clicks and views, number one. Number two is because he's a selfish bastard himself. And he hates black women, in my opinion. Because if you've noticed his look at Stephen A. Smith's history. This dude had the gall to disrespect Serena Williams, probably one of the most influential black women in the United States. That's the type of white people didn't even do that to her. They might have made a meme or here too that was effed up. But he went in harder to the point where Serena's husband had to go roast this nigga. And he's still doing it. Look at the pattern here. This is a hateful dude. Don't get it twisted. This is a hateful dude. And he's mainstream. So that makes black male hate for black women mainstream.
None of my damn business. Ain't none of y'all's either.
Yeah, so that's the point is, if it's not our business, then why are you talking about it? You freaking hypocrite. This dude has a lot of sports to talk about. He could talk sports all the time, all day, but he goes out of his way to disrespect black women. And it's a key to remember. He's not just disrespecting Megan. He's talking to women right now.
But Megan Thee Stallion made it so this Saturday night. Why?
Notice how he's blaming her for Klay cheating. But then goes back around and says that, oh, well, it's not our business. Well, her telling us that Klay cheated ain't your business then, motherfucker. And if you notice, he fits the bill perfectly. He's not a very good looking man. Let's just put it that way. Another ugly dude talking about a gorgeous woman. That's all we have here.
Why we got to dog the brother out?
He dogs women out all the time. Do you hear this hypocrite talk? He dogs women out all the time. Did he or did he not dog out Serena Williams about something that had nothing to do with him? You see the hypocrisy in this? In the house, while you're seeking knowledge. Uh-oh, DJ is getting worked up. This got to be deep. Look, let me tell you, this clown right here, Stephen A. Smith, he's worse. He's just as bad as Kevin Samuels. And just as much as a 3 or 4 as Kevin Samuels was. He was. He is. He's a replacement. See, that's the funny thing. See, what he's trying to do is sneak in there and take all those, because he saw, he can use another million bandits. Get them bandits and get, so he's going to talk this hate rhetoric and make things worse for black women. He doesn't care. It's not his problem. First, it's not his problem, but he makes it his problem. Then he says don't make it your problem. Isn't that funny?
Why? Is there a wedding that I missed?
Do you see this?
We ain't heard from Klay. What if Klay said?
We know it's true. See, if Stephen A. Smith was going to keep it 100, he would talk about Klay's past. And then he would say, you be the judge. You heard the doctor earlier in this video. If you didn't, you got to go back. The doctor, a real therapist, explains how this works. Obviously, Stephen A. Smith didn't get the memo. Most cheaters stay cheaters. So either that or some very emotional or near, deletion experience changes them. That's why when men become criminals, they usually stay criminals. They might try doing it a different way, but they just stay. That's just how they are. So that's how disgusting this dude is. Let's
Said
more.
It was you. What if Klay said that you was out there getting your freak on?
Now, remember now, he said it's not his business. But he's spreading this business and causing more harm. I think I've heard enough of this. Man, here, let me play a little bit more.
He didn't do nothing you did. Are we going to act like women are incapable of stepping out on dudes?
So now he's turning it around. All of a sudden now, Mr. Cheater here, Stephen A. Smith. See, this is why I know there's a really good chance he is a narcissist. They do this all the time where they spin shit around. I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying he's got a lot of potential, which will explain why he's single. He was not in the relationship. He didn't know the promises that Klay made to Meg. Now, he's a dumbass because you would think that if somebody gives you a $300,000 car to drive around in, because I think he leased it, and they buy a house together, that's pretty damn serious. And do you see how this fool, shout out to New Dawn in the house, good seeing you. Corey, it's great seeing you. It's great seeing everybody. But man, I mean, I'm trying to keep it chill, but this because look, you're not watching Stephen A. Smith, you're watching how a lot of black men in our community think. They think like he's being PC right now. Think how he really thinks. And saw how he spun it around all of a sudden. See, this is the thing. Klay knew how social media works. Megan is not the first woman that blew him out on Instagram. His first ex did the exact same thing. Others, see, what Stephen A. Smith wants you to do is toe the line for black men that cheat. See, Megan was supposed to keep quiet and then just let it dissolve and move on. And that was all it. No accountability for the cheater. Because he does it. He cheats. I guarantee you he's cheated on somebody. So this is the welcome to the lack of accountability club. And I'm going to drop the link because I cannot by good morals not drop the link and have the ladies if they would like to come up and put in their 2 cents on this man right here and the other men like him. Because this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. What? He is literally defending a man who has a history of cheating. Just let that sink in. Let that sink in. He is defending a man that has a history of cheating. And when a man has a history of cheating, he probably continued his pattern. Do you think by now he would have said, look, Megan's wrong, I didn't cheat? Why would you wait? Why would you wait? Then they could go in on Megan even harder. Why?
Dude. But these women just chirping all over the damn place.
Notice how he's on Megan and notice how he's on women when the man cheated. Shout out to Wisdom Ain't Cheap in the house. I mean, he's doing exactly, he's doing exactly what Kevin Sam. This is Stephen A. Smith, Stephen A. Smith. Okay. Notice the similarities between Stephen A. Smith and Kevin Samuels. First of all, they're both self-hating and they both hate black people, especially black women. They play along with you, but they can't stand you. Who made Just Pearly Things the queen of the black manosphere? And only when she showed her true colors did the black manosphere show concern for her. Anton still likes her. That's why the black manosphere should be changed to the black chronosphere. You know what I mean, but I can't say that word. But you see what I'm saying. Kevin Samuels sold the leadership of literally what? 4 million black men to a Caucasian woman who doesn't even like them. Stephen A. Smith is a perfect replacement. He's just more slick about it. He's just more slick. He told us at the beginning it's not our business, but he's telling it's not our business to hear about their business, but here he is telling us their business. I mean, ooh, okay, let me play this a little bit more. Here we go.
Telling everybody like you on The View.
I mean, this dude right here I've proved to you that he's a hypocrite. I proved to you that he's a Kevin Samuels wannabe. I proved to you that he's self-hating. I proved to you why Kevin Samuels was self-hating. I mean, think about it. Black men, really. This 1 minute is for you, but I'm here to protect black women. But I want to show you how dumb you were to choose Kang Samuels for your leader. The whole plan was that Pearly Things was going to run all of you. Literally half the black male population in the United States was going to run all of you. And her best friend, which you will find out more about on Saturday, is a famous YT super, if you know what I mean. I don't want to say the words. I don't want to get in that algorithm. Her best friend, one of her Kang Samuels, yep. And you all just ate it up. The only reason you ate it up is that if he was talking that shit to you, you guys would get mad. But since he was talking to another group, the group you're supposed to support, you guys loved him for it. You loved him for being literally worse than the triple K to black women. You loved him for it. And that's really the problem that we have here. Let's listen to more bigotry. Let's listen to more bigotry that even has the supremacists, whoever they are, in awe. Just a little clip, and then I'm gonna let Corey talk some. Here we go.
Or you looking for an interview with Oprah? What did he do to deserve you all of a sudden going on Front Street, Page 6, TMZ, or wherever the hell else?
Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Ghost, thank you for coming to the stage. What are your thoughts so far?
First of all, how do you always know when I'm eating? Because that's when you be dropping the links, when I'm in the middle of eating.
See, I learned a lesson from you though. See, I don't go live until I eat now because I'll be on here for 2 hours starving while you're just chomping away.
Well, now it's bedtime because it's later out here than it is out there. Well, I can't stand looking at Stephen A. Smith. All that shine is blinding. It hits my glasses. That forehead just. What the kids say, he don't just got a forehead. He got a 5 and 6 head too. Mm-hmm. Talking about women. So let's talk about some things we see always play out. A man gets exposed for cheating, clear as day. That dude has history. And somehow there's always a group of men ready to defend him. not to understand or hold him accountable, but to protect him. And it's why. Because for some, it's not really about that man. It's about what his behavior represents. They admit he was wrong if they admit he was wrong. Then they have to admit the standards apply to them as well. So considering their past choices or their current behavior, it's about their own accountability. And that is uncomfortable for them. So instead of saying, yeah, that wasn't right, you hear things like, we don't know the full story, and that's between them, and everybody makes mistakes. And listen, mistakes do happen, but accountability should too, because loyalty doesn't mean covering for someone when they're wrong. That's not loyalty, that's avoidance. Real loyalty says, I'm not going to let you keep hurting people and call it normal. If you're a man listening to this, understand something. Holding your friends accountable doesn't make you disloyal. It makes you solid. Because if we only protect each other's image, we never challenge each other's behavior. We're not raising the standard. We're just recycling the same problems over and over.
Bars.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Let me go
He
back.
liked being
Wait,
single.
Let me pause that. Go back over here.
PR spin. You hear that? What a clip.
Let's hear what Tisa has to say. Here we go.
Y'all, Clay's family has lost their mind. Do you know that all of the sports sources are saying that Clay's family has recruited Stephen A. Smith to change the narrative on what happened in Megan and Clay's relationship and imply that Megan cheated on Clay? Y'all, let's get into this because
Shout out to JHD in the house.
the fallout from Megan's Lover Girl era, we about to have a fire album, Savage Deluxe, right? The fallout from Megan's Lover Girl era and Clay cheating on her and playing in her face keeps happening. If you know, Meg is devastated, and rightly so. Anytime that you've actually opened up and felt safe and thought somebody that was the one, and they not only, it's not like he broke up with her, he cheated on her, which is worse than just breaking up with somebody, you know, way worse.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's funny how they're out there. These people are saying, "Oh yeah, Clay dumped Megan. Clay dumped Megan," and it's just like they have no problem with lying.
Up would have been the kind, humane thing to do. So anyway, Megan actually dropped out of her show, her Broadway show, for a man that looked like the PBS sign, turn to the side. Y'all don't believe me? Watch this. This is the mofo that is making Megan, don't let that man, you better show up.
Oh, oh man. But yeah, and this is this is one of the items that I wanted to point out was that how Black men, especially a woman who's just holding it together. And I think we all can agree that Megan was just holding it together, right? When she got with a Klay, how they can bring a woman down to the point where she's losing. Obviously, if she's quitting that show, she's losing money, she's losing fame and wealth because this dude wouldn't act right. Ghost, what do you think?
Try to put myself on mute to smell my new candles. How much money does she really need? I think she's just trying to get peace of mind. She got money, and now everything that he done gave her is a gift. She don't have to return none of that. The problem is that house. If you're not married, if you don't have that prenup and all that stuff in place, there shouldn't have been no house purchasing. But that car he bought her, oh, that's hers. That's a gift.
That's right. That's right. He gifted it to her. So there was a rumor he was trying to take it back, but that would be bad for business if he did that, because he would.
He don't get none back as a gift.
Yep. Yep.
And he should have thought about that before he starts sticking Dickley everywhere else, but where it was supposed to be.
And that's the thing, is like, how can you see? that's what bothered me about what Stephen A. Smith, Tone Deaf A. Smith was saying. This man, they bought a house together. That's to me, that's as big as close to marriage as you can be. I mean, really, quite honestly, the marriage is only a $300,000, $1 million house. Okay, it costs $90 to get married. You know, see, that's what bothers me about Stephen A. Smith. It's like this dude is buying lavish gifts. If he would have said, "Oh, Meg, I'm going to buy you a house and it's only for you and you can hang out," then that's different. That's like he just wants to buy a $2 million house for somebody he likes or he's with. They bought the house together.
But you notice that he hasn't spoken up for himself. He hadn't said anything in his own defense.
Right. At the very least, if she wasn't telling the truth, he would have said, "That ain't true." And that's that. He didn't even say that. I think he's still trying to cover his tracks.
He is not an adult. He lacks emotional maturity. Relationships, especially one that is public like this, requires more discipline, not less, because everybody knows who you are. So if someone struggles with honesty and consistency like that, they fail in the open dynamics, just like they fail monogamy. Everybody know. It just makes him look bad. And he's just too much of a coward to say, "I'm sorry," or even to defend himself in his lives. He's just a coward.
Exactly. I think New Dawn broke it down perfectly too. She said the house was a bigger sign of commitment. He didn't think she would leave. I think he thought he could cheat in peace. I think that's what he was thinking.
Maybe he thought there was enough room in that house for him to have his secrets on one side and she be on the other.
Bars in the house. Why is seeking knowledge? Welcome to the stage. Hello? She might be having technical. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Sure can.
Okay, I have no idea why my audio is off. But I did want to say about Klay here. I mean, he's acting no different than the average. And that's something I've spoken on before. It's kind of hard to see them aspire to such heights, but still have their mentalities in the gutter. You know, it doesn't change them. I remember a time when being affluent and becoming affluent actually brought class to a person. That's something they aspired to as well. But those days are gone. We don't see that anymore. And this is him, and especially with the male issues that are going on, it is actually more, it makes him look better to be this playboy amongst the male group. In their comment, that means he's really a man. You know, for us, it's a failing because he's failing to mature and all these things. But amongst the manosphere, this is where he's getting revered and respected. So that's a conflict.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. So let me switch PBS man to the next bozo.
Now y'all upset, so much so that y'all want to jump on the internet and try to act like Klay Thompson is the lamest dude on planet Earth.
Yo, the internet must be bored because the Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson breakup has people tweaking out.
I mean, he is pretty lame. His silence is louder than anything he could say, but he chooses not to say anything. When a man cheats and doesn't apologize or confess, that's not confusion. That is a choice. It's his ego over integrity. It's his pride over principle, because an apology requires humility. And some men would rather protect their image than repair the damage that they've caused.
Exactly.
Well, they're going to drag him if he appears to be a simp or, something like that. So this is why he may even want to apologize, and he may be doing that behind closed doors. But he would never do that publicly because he would become, what's Sierra husband's name? He would become another Russell Wilson. And at all expenses, men do not want to be regarded by other men as less than a man. So he just can't do it.
I don't even think he would do it in private, though, to tell you the truth. He's the type that seems like he'll stay silent because that'll give him more time, or somebody could keep spinning the story for him. And he maybe he's hopeful he'll still have access in the future, or even act like nothing's happened. And like, even in private, confession comes with consequences. And some people don't want those consequences. They want convenience. So instead of being accountable, I can see him totally being avoidant. And instead of fessing up to the truth, we might get half stories from all his entourage and stuff. But no remorse. He just seems like he just not going to be a part of it. Because if he doesn't say it, if he doesn't admit it, if he doesn't acknowledge it, then maybe it didn't really happen. And that's a strategy. That's a choice. That's a strategy. And a man who can hurt you and still sleep peacefully without saying the word is not about protecting anybody's feelings. He's just protecting himself.
Well, I really don't see Klay like that at all, because the type of man that got close to Megan in the first place, he had to have a little smart of a softer character for her to feel like she was at home and things like that. And then he's an expert cheater. So he knows how to play all of those cards, and they are at his disposal to play. I've had men, apologize to me with bubble snot tears, okay, that they would never do before another man. They would never do in the presence. They would never admit that they have ever done it, even if their mama died and things like that. But they do that. They use whatever means is necessary to keep things like they want them to be. So I do see him privately. He probably has done it a number of times. He probably filled up her room with roses and things like that they always do. I do see him making that play for it, but Megan wasn't going.
I could see her sharing that though. If he did something like that, I could see her taking pictures and posting it and stuff, because she was embarrassed and humiliated. And eventually, whatever 504s he was with, that's going to hit the internet, because they're going to have pictures. They're going to have stories to tell. They're going to say, "Ooh, I was with her man this whole time under her nose, and I did this, that, and the other, and I even tried on her clothes and her shoes and all that other junk." So that's going to hit us eventually.
Megan moved. She pulled a Trump move when she made her statement. She said, "I'm gonna make this statement right here, and I'm done." She haven't said anything else about it. She's been crickets because she was trying to move past it, and she's not giving this thing any more credence, because I don't think she thinks he deserves this at this point. If you read her statement, that's what she said. "I'm gonna say this one time," and she came in, hit it, and backed out. That's why you haven't heard it. She's not giving him any more publicity or spending any more time on this, and I'm proud of her for that.
I really hope she stick to it though, because yes, it was humiliating, but no matter what your history and your experience is, everybody is deserving of love and appreciation that is authentic, that's genuine, that is lasting. So no matter what her history holds for her, I hope she chooses better for herself, because that's the lesson. People always say, choose better, choose better. This is her opportunity to choose better for herself, to choose herself.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a shame that men, and there are the very ones who, usually do all the cheating and things like that in relationships, that we're always chasing them for, and always, we're always set at ends with them about it, for them to turn around and actually call her a threat when they have a body count, the size of a major city. You know what I mean? But then if you have three, they're so hypocritical on the whole standards and principle things behind what they say. It's like it really puts a target. If they were to flip that around on them, none of them would be viable mates, like, at all.
It's true. That's true.
Well said by everyone on the stage. And JHD says, "I feel like he made her feel like she had family." Yep. Knowing she had none of her own. And that's what makes it so evil, is that he went I mean, he had his own family come over and he bought, you know, they split a house and he bought her a Bentley and then goes cheats on her. So you would think that, let's say it's his feelings for her is true and he loves her. So basically what he's telling her early on in this relationship is that he's willing to give her a Snoop Dogg marriage, which means he's going to step out when he wants to step out, and you get a Bentley and you get a house, which she can buy for her own self, though. You see what I'm saying? She already got one Popeyes, probably going to get another one. She don't need his money, but that's what he was probably thinking because his motor, as it's what was the word? It's just natural for him to cheat and then spend money on women and make them like him. He's spun the block before. I think he did it with the woman that he was with before Megan. Or was it the one before? Or was it the one before?
Or all of them.
The one before.
All of them. And I think that he likes her. He probably likes her enough because I haven't heard of him doing such notable things for the other ones, but I'm not too deep into him anyway. But I mean, he loves her enough to perform all of those niceties to her for her, but he don't love her enough to give her monogamy, and that's just it. You know, they have made this excuse for themselves. Well, I'm just a dog, and you just going to have to deal with that. So that's something that they just refuse to take off the table, and that provides a huge detriment for relationships amongst us. We cannot maintain and sustain relationships as long as they view their member as, active activity by their member with other people as a principle of manhood. That's toxic masculinity that they're following. And our race would never really go anywhere. We ain't going nowhere as long as our men feel like they just want to, they're going to always degrade our experiences, our marriages, our relationships and things like that. Abandon the children, all this stuff, just because they want to chase their lower member.
Yeah, cheating is part of a series of bad decisions. It's not just one thing you do. It's a series of things that you decide to do in your favor. So that just means that his wants mattered more than Megan's trust.
Right.
I kind of do believe that he loved her. I really do. But his actions say otherwise. And so I can't even argue with the words, I love you. I kind of believe he does love her. But I have to believe his behavior, because if it was real love, he wouldn't just say it. This wouldn't even be in a picture. He would protect her from the pain is causing her, the pain and embarrassment. And that's what I'm saying. I'm waiting for the follow-up. There's going to be some trick out there who has pictures and video and this and that with Klay. And he said this, and he let her do this to embarrass Megan, and she's going to use Megan's name and Klay's relationship with her to become Insta famous or TikTok famous or whatever famous she's trying to get off a celebrity just because she could open her legs or her mouth, whatever she did.
Well, this is one thing I believe. I hear what you say as far as about you do believe he loved her. I believe he loved her too, but I think he loved her in the under the guise of male definition of love. What they call it, mansplaining. If they had to mansplain what love was, it's something different than how women look at it. To us, we value our integrity and loyalty and things that they want from us. But these aren't things that they're willing to reciprocate back to us. They just expect us to sit there and take it and look, I'm a man, I'm born with a peen, so I'm just going to be corrupt in there. So take that on, you have to take that on and forgive me. And they expect us to forgive and things like that. This is one of the complaints they have about feminism. They expect us to just have this infinite supply of, taking all of their mess. And that's why, I believe that's why he thought that he could just pet her up and do some bubble snot crying one time. And then she was just going to say, well, okay, but she didn't do that.
Well, he seems to be kind of the quiet type on social media anyway. So it makes me wonder if the situation was reversed and he caught her cheating, would he speak up? I'm
That's a
just
good
wondering
question.
because everything we've been seeing about the relationship has been coming from people who's watching them or from her posting, the family visits and the beach and the island with all that other stuff. None of that really came from him. He was there.
Well, and yeah, if you look at it like this, I mean, I can speak from experience on this because I had questions like that too. And just to kind of put my situation out there, I had somebody who, a lady called the person that I was with. And the dialogue was going back and forth, but he was sitting there quiet because he don't want to trap himself up with the side pieces and things like that. So he can't say, "Well, baby, I love you." He can't say anything. He had to be quiet, let that situation go, because he's gonna tell this one thing, he's gonna tell that one the other thing, and maintain both. That's why.
That's actually a really, I mean, we got two different theories going on here, and they're both extremely valid. That's true. He can't say anything because he'd messed up something with somebody else. He can't. Everybody, all his side chicks know if he does have side chicks. I'm gonna give him a little bit. If he does have side chicks, they all know that he's with or was with Megan, right? But he can't seem as emotionally involved with Megan as he perceived that to them. Like he's thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm just playing her." That's what he's saying to his side chicks. But so he can't do the snot. I agree. He can't do the snot in person. Let me bring in Deontay on the conversation. Deontay, welcome
Hey,
to the stage.
Deontay.
Hey, how y'all doing?
What it do, Deontay?
You know,
Perspective. Let's get it.
oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a lot to say, right? Like, I wasn't going to be like disrespectful or nothing because I'm not like that. But I'm not even going to even get into it that hard because I see what's, you know, I didn't realize how affected a lot of people were from this, especially like the women. Um, Especially just with everything going on. Um, I don't know. I don't even want to really get it. I just want to go back to what Ghost was saying earlier about Clay being quiet like that and not posting. Y'all are right. Before he started dating her, which was what, just 8 months ago, Clay was never like a really overtly, overly public type of person. He had his endorsements and stuff, and he was with what's the girl, Coco Jones, I think another famous lady before her, but I don't think he expected this to get like this big with Megan. I don't know why he didn't. That's just me assuming. I don't know. But I'm not saying that gave him the right to cheat on her. Not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is that um, Clay's family, like where he, 'cause remember, Clay's not married. He's never been married, and he doesn't have any children. So, and he got a traditional family that he's coming from. So this whole Playboy thing that he's doing, I mean, I think this is where like the big disconnect is coming from. Now he shouldn't have cheated on her. If he didn't want to be with her, he should have just broke up with her. She was alluding to a lot of stuff in her post though about cold feet and all this other stuff. So I don't know, but I think that Clay. I just never really thought their personalities mixed publicly. I don't know them, personally. It's just that she's out there and she's selling her brand. I mean, this was a good brand boost for her from if you look at her dating past compared to who Clay was when she got with him. So, and for him, it was just like everybody was like shocked. You know what I'm saying? Like you was going to hop with, making it stuff like, but I think that the reason why you're not hearing from Clay is because he's not public with stuff. Like he's not going to just all of a sudden change at 36 years old and become, oh, I'm gonna come out here and apologize to the world like Tiger Woods did. Like when it's really just something between me and my partner. Like she came out and made. I mean, she could have just said, "Hey, we split up. It's over with." She put out a whole post like that. So Clay's not going to do that, and he's not going. I think that him not responding publicly isn't as bad as people think it is. Because if this was some other dude, you see what her dude Party Fontaine did, and Tory Lanez, all these other people, they come out here just trying to disrespect her and trying to expose her. He didn't do none of that. So that's really all I want to say about it.
Well, I
Got
think
it.
another thing about him too, about the Clay part of it. I mean, we know he cheated. He's not gonna try to get on there and confirm it. He's gonna leave it to be something that you can question. So he's not, that's one of the benefits of him not speaking. You just let the public do what they do, and because no matter what he say, he gonna be dragged for it. Except for amongst the manosphere, they're gonna be like, yeah, right, because that's probably a lot of them. They really have odds against light skinned men. Very rarely, very rarely, unless it's just on total, toxic male principles, do they really ever stand, on the side of those high yellow men that get all the women that they hate so bad. You know what I mean? Unless it's something like this. So I think he's going, he's letting them plead their case, let everybody guess, and just leave everybody wondering, because once he begins to speak, he can be picked apart. So he is smart to just kind of sit it out, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree. This is the bottom line for me. This is what you don't buy cars, you don't buy houses, you don't lead somebody on. I believe it was she's more upset that he led her on than she is about him cheating on her, in my opinion. Because the cheating to me was probably just that got it. Okay, it's over. But but even if he would have gotten cold, the thing is this is when somebody says, "Oh, you got cold feet," somebody made a commitment to you. And a commitment for not a relationship, because they already got one. So it's a commitment for marriage that he probably like, oh, I'm going to marry you. And let me tell you something about naming your boat the name of somebody you love or that you claim to love. Mm-hmm. That is a bigger deal than you think. Men, it is. I'm an avid fisherman. I love water. I love being around water. Let me tell you something. Men with boats that name their boat the name of a woman don't take that woman lightly. That is not the naming your boat after somebody is not something you name a jump off. Okay. He didn't name the boat SS Jump Off. He named it Megan's SS Stallion. So the problem that a lot of men, especially men that have no feelings or no emotion or no what word am I looking for? Empathy have, is the way that he led her on full force. If you think about it, every level of commitment, every way you could commit to a woman, he did. Financially or in some ways physically. Named his boat. They shared a house. He didn't buy a house for her. They shared the purchase of a house. Oh my God. That's going to fool just about any woman. That is going to trick just about any woman. She's going to look back at his past and go, damn, he didn't name the boat after nobody else. He didn't buy, split a house with me for nobody else. It's not like the house is supposed to be like, the jump off, spot because it's in, her own name only or something. They shared, a lot of, and I'm sorry, but having this woman cook for your family, and your family has come over there and has seen her several times. She has been courtside several times. I'm sorry, I don't care how smart you can be, Cynthia G. You're probably gonna be fooled by all that kind of shit. You're gonna be fooled. You're gonna look back at his history and go, damn, but look at all this stuff he's doing for me. He's bringing me flowers all the time and all this kind of stuff. And at least from what I've seen in traditional history, the boat naming, the house buying, the car buying it's going to fool, I would say, 80% of careful women. Even careful women would fall for that. So I
Well,
can understand why she's so upset.
DJ, this is not unique. This is something that a lot of men typically do. I mean, this is not
Hmm.
they will lie and gaslight and tell stories and buck dance and all this stuff, and to get what they want. She is basically a prize, if you look at it. But she's not touchable by a lot of men. You don't hear stories where her jumping all over. And she may have had her past, you know what I mean? But she began to rise. She got her degree, and she's began to take on other endeavors and things like that. And she was broken, but men do make these promises. I know men, and make six figures if they got houses way out. They risk all of that to wet that device that they have in the lower nether region. They do that all the time. Okay, and just look at that coach over that team. He's going to be the highest paid black coach or something like that.
Yes.
And he was cheating on his side. Look, they gotta just like they connect that to their manhood so deeply that it has wreaked havoc. How many divorces has it cost? How many, essays and how many, all this just to feed. It's like Little Shop of Horrors is down there like feed me Seymour, and they'll kill people for it. It's ridiculous, but DJ, I'm telling the truth. It's the same thing. That thing down there, feed me Seymour, and they'll wreak home. They'll leave their children to do everything to wet that thing. And men need to actually look at this critically, and they just don't. They know that mean I'm a man, and that's that toxic man. When you say toxic masculinity, they get mad. But that is what they're looking at as like one of the principles of a man. Well, I can't control that, and I don't have to, so they add that in their bucket as to what a man is, and they'll forego the integrity, forego, all of the good things that should be characteristics in there, and they will let that one supersede and wipe them out. And then they'll blame her. She's taking the house, and you just sticking your stuff over there. And you knew that this could possibly happen. You rolling the dice on my life, on your children's life, or they will bet everything like they in a casino and lose everything, and then they turn around and blame the casino. Same thing.
Well said in the house, Henry Mars. It's I agree. I mean, this is mind blowing because the theories everybody is coming up with in here is very, 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 it's very solid. So the thing is that we've seen men in the past lose so much. I mean, I call it the Sharon Moore stigma. I mean, these men, so you're right. I mean, maybe it wasn't as big of a deal as I was thinking, because if Sharon Moore was willing to give up $15 million, well, obviously he probably didn't think he was going to get caught, but just the risk factor of what he was doing, his whole career, his whole life is gone. I mean, why aren't these men? I cannot figure this out. I do not know. Maybe I'm just over that level of age where I just don't understand why men in their 40s are giving up everything to cheat, because
Viagra came out.
Wait, say it again.
Viagra came out. I'm sorry. Go ahead, DJ.
No, you nailed it. You nailed it. I mean, let me get anybody else's input. Anybody in the chat or on the panel, because to me it's like I got $10 million. I'm doing my life's dream of coaching, and I'm going to give that up for. And you should see that. The woman that Sharon Moore gave it up for, I mean, he gave up, he's thinking she's giving up, but he gave it up. I mean, he gave up literally a whole generational wealth a life, a career. He could have been in the NFL. That's gone forever now. Why? I just can't figure that out. Why men would give up so freaking much? You know, you could see Pookie and Ray Ray do this all day and every day, but we're talking about men that have made it. These so-called high-value men. It's like, I mean, even in Clay's situation, I believe he could probably recover. I think he'll recover because the people he lost, he will gain lowing hanging fruit, all those losers who wanted him to be a hoe. But as far as having the type of the prestige he could have had, he's messed that up now. I mean, it was already shaky before with all the other women he cheated on. Now it's like, it's a wrap. It's almost a wrap. It's like, remember now, 2 or 3 years from now, he could have been easily on ESPN being, a commentator or whatever. And now he might still be one, but he's not going to be at the same role he could have been. Midlife crisis. Well said. I said what I said. Yeah, but hey, y'all chop it up. I'm confused.
I don't think he expected it to become public. Men have been lucky in the past. They have been with women who really didn't see themselves as having choice. At some point, it's not really about what the man is doing, and he's doing the most. It's about what he thinks the woman is willing to accept. So the moment she decides that she's being disrespected and stands up for herself, that's when everything changes. Because how many times do we hear stories about women being with trash men, just like the man who killed all his kids and then drove somewhere else and killed all those other people? That's not the first time he acted up on those people. Those women, those baby mamas, they stayed in his life. That's not the first time that it was probably a series of progressive actions that got him to that point. So a lot of these men are expecting that weak self-esteem and that low self-worth, and they do little things to erode their confidence. Because let's go back to Klay. Maybe Klay has seen Megan's reputation in the past. And deep down in the back of his head, he was thinking, oh, well, I just got to be good to her, and I don't even have to change my behavior. I just have to be decent to her because she's never had a decent man in her life to treat her thus. So in the back of his head, he just thinks, if I can be decent to her, I can keep going, doing what I'm doing, and she'll probably take it because nobody has done this for her. Nobody has bought her a car. Nobody has gone on the house. Nobody has taken her to see their family. So in the back of his head, he's thinking, I'm just going to be decent. I'm going to be one of the good ones to her, and I can still do what I'm doing. And she's going to accept it because I am a good guy to her.
And another thing to add on to that too is one of the big caveats actually with Black women. I mean, if you know, when O.J. Simpson got divorced from his first wife, okay, he didn't really get anything. They just kick him to the curb. And most of the times when they do have a Black mate and they divorce, which might be why he even entertained the thought of marriage in the first place, they'll give her crumbs, a little nothing. She is the least protected creature on the world, the Black woman is. So he probably said, well, I'm free to do this and that. She's just glad to be with somebody, who is more, closer to the spectrum of the whiteness or whatever. So she's going to allow me to do these things because I'm even better than her race. Listen to how they talk about themselves and their morals and principles standards. I'll just give her 3 crumbs more than they do, and I'll bring her on. And if anything happens, and look, we're watching her get drugged for filth, and he's the one that cheated. This is how that goes with them. So he probably said, well, it's not going to do me much damage because she's at least protected. Nobody's going to stand up for her. And my reputation is just walk. And he probably won't suffer anything, little or nothing. If you ask me, he's not. They're going to excuse it as being a man.
It's not
Mm.
tremendously late right now, DJ, but I am slipping off because I got to stay young looking. I can't be up at all time of nights hanging out with y'all. But I will update you real quick before I slip off. I did go on that date.
Okay.
He was really mannerable, really nice. He enjoyed my company. I was charming. I was witty. He was laughing. He enjoyed the date. The place is trying to close. He's trying to keep talking and laughing. So we go sit outside at a table outside the business because they locking the doors and it's time to go. And we still chatting and talking and have a good time. And he says, I really enjoyed myself. This was refreshing. It was a good change of pace than what I was used to. I will call you tomorrow. That's the end of the story. There's no more to it.
Okay. So okay. So did he have to call you back yet?
Heck no, that's the end of the story.
Oh.
That was it. He really enjoyed himself and he came in and got the hug because that's all he getting is the hug. It was a long lingering hug. And he will call me tomorrow because it was great. It was a great change of pace and he really enjoyed himself. And that's the end of the story. That's where it ended. There's no follow-up to it.
Okay.
That's
I got
I'm
a
so
number. I'm
glad
not
to hear
calling
that
them.
for
I'm
you.
not texting them. None of that. I'm not reaching out.
Very glad to hear that for you. I hope it turns out better than Megan's did.
That's it. The last thing he said to me is, I will call you tomorrow. And since that didn't happen, that is the end of that story. And I had another date today at lunch, and that was nice. And that dude is texting me right now.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm glad you didn't cut off your possibilities while you're waiting for him. A lot of us had tended to in a period of time. Things are changing. So I'm glad that you kept it right on rolling.
I'm the prize. I don't know what people be thinking. I'm the over 6 feet tall with the six figures with the house and the nice car. I'm the prize.
I heard that. I said what I said. Wow, that's a wonderful story though. But I hope you have fun in your dating endeavors. I have bought me a treadmill and some nice little spider food and things like that for my spiders, and I've learned how to like them as they accumulate. Down there in my Niger regions, because I'm just kind of really fed up and I'm tired. So there will be no visitation to the nether regions in this area. So I'm glad you're still hopeful.
I'm just having fun. I'm just gonna wish y'all good night. I said what I said. Why seeking knowledge, Deontay, everybody, because there's a lot of people I can't even see everybody. Y'all know where to find me. I'm working on another song right now, so I'll see y'all later.
All right, Ghost. You have a great evening.
Good night.
I said what I said. Says, well, I blocked two ninjas last week.
Go girl, go.
I heard that. I said what I said.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
At this moment, I think it's a good time for me to put in a shameless plug for Saturday night's live stream, which is going on Candace Part 2. But I got a lot going on Saturday night. There's Candace. There's what's his name? What I call him? Cash Money. Yeah, Cash Patel. His situation.
Oh. What is his situation, DJ, if I may ask?
His girl's been messing around with him.
Well, I guess if she figures she get out of the sight of that one eye, she can do whatever she want over there.
Yeah. Dude, let's see, Cash Money in the mirror. I mean, the thing is this. What's funny is the concern I have is you notice there's definitely a big difference with Black men as it pertains to other races of women. They treat other races of women, at least most of the time, with much more grace than they do Black women. I mean, it's for the exact same reputations or clout or whatever. It's clear that they have more smoke for Black women. Black men do. Think about it. How many times have you seen these black men make a meme of Kim Kardashian and men lining up for her, which her line is probably at the very least triple that of Megan's. But they didn't do that to Kim Kardashian, right? And she straight out dumped Kanye, their hero. So it just
And another
goes.
thing, I'm sorry, DJ. And another thing, nobody came for him when he dogged and said she deserved more respect and she was a far better woman than Michelle Obama. And he don't understand why she getting all this praise that Kim deserved even more than that. And I had no black man step up and did like we're not defended on any level. And that's one reason why.
Yeah. And another shameless plug, I want everybody, if you get a moment, definitely check out I Said What I Said's channel and Wisdom Ain't Cheap's channel and Ghost channel. And of course, Why Seeking Knowledge channel. And Deontay, do you have a channel?
No, I don't have a channel.
Okay.
I don't have
Well,
one
you
either.
check out his channel anyway. No.
Yeah, I don't have one either. I'm usually just kind of finding tasty tidbits and usually just kind of seeking knowledge, So I don't have a show of my own. I've been told to get one by several people, but I don't think I have the commitment to really, because that takes a lot. People get here and they chat and they talk, but they don't understand all the background that goes into it. But I do recognize that on your channel. That's one reason why I revere and praise you a lot, because I know that it does take a lot. But you got to be ready to commit to such a thing.
Thank you. But yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know Saturday. Oh man. Yeah. Hey, look. I said what I said. Deontay, Yolanda.
Yes, sir.
Y'all wanted some politics. I got some politics. I mean, this is what I got going on. Let me give you a little list before. Yeah. Okay. Well, Nicki Minaj is getting a divorce. She literally sent Kenneth back to the Bronx, and he's got a little shack to live in. And I believe he's going to live in that shack with this woman who he's having a child with. And it ain't Nicki.
Oh, he messed up his nest egg. You see what I'm saying? There's no principles. It is part of the manhood. It's like, well, they just shrugged their shoulders. That's what I got to do. That member is down there, like I said, like Little Shop of Horrors. And like Pookie on New Jack City is just be calling him, man. Be calling him. And they would, look, he didn't have any talents. He didn't have anything to bring to her. It was a miracle that she took him on as her husband in the first place. But do you see how he just squandered the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
It like I said, it doesn't discriminate against men. And as long as they within the patriarchy, that toxic principle of them maintaining their integrity is just they don't feel like they have to. They excused because they're men. And when you don't just forgive them, it be throwing they were like, what? I said I'm sorry. I mean, it's just that simple nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then we have the Homeland Security sugar baby.
What?
The Homeland Security. I know it sounds weird. Homeland Security sugar baby, where she was in the world of no more DEI. A young lady right out of college got like a high-end Homeland Security gig, which I don't mind. That doesn't bother me. But they found out that she was a sugar baby, and one of her sugar daddies outed her. So that I got more. Then there's we haven't really talked about Chili, so I'm going to put her in the mix. And TLC's Chili and T-Boz were forced out of their house after losing the mansion to foreclosure.
Yay.
Man, I mean, it keeps going.
I know T-Boz is extremely hurt because that's not her stance. And people were calling out T-Boz saying, well, you know that about her and you kept working with her. But it's a money thing. T-Boz needs the money. They need these shows and things like that. The venues to keep going to get the money, and she has health issues, things like that, but she's been holding it down. She cannot, hold her accountable and just, well, I'm not doing this anymore because of that woman's political view. So I'm not mad at T-Boz for that. That's just something they just don't agree on. We have husband and wives that's married. The woman is she's a straight Democrat, and the husband, he's barking all those maggot points, all the time, and they stay together. That's got to be a tough thing to do. And it may have been tough for them too, but I don't fault T-Boz for it. But can you imagine how she feels right now that she's losing the house because of her political views?
I know. I mean, well, it gets even more interesting. It appears that Erica Kirk has a new man. It's a rumor. I'll say it's a rumor. But y'all have to just find out on Saturday. But it's quite a surprise. Her new man is quite a surprise. I'm just going to say that. I know, Yolandos, I know you have what they call it, that intuition that you probably will figure out what I mean just by the way I'm talking. But,
I'm flabbergasted, I have to say at this time, but I am not flabbergasted. I mean, I didn't see one tear from that person. So, I mean, everybody was saying that is such a red flag with her, is that she didn't go into a period of mourning for sure, but they really wanted you to feel really sorry for, oh, she's lost everything. But she's out there river dancing and stuff on stage and just putting tissue up to her eyes, and it's not getting wet and all kind of stuff, and making all, doing all these, fake Christian, things that they're doing in this day and time. She didn't miss a beat. And then everybody's saying she's such a neglectful parent. If she's with all these family values, she's going totally against everything that she's trying to make everybody succumb to. Okay, where's the time she's spending with her kids? We don't see it.
Right.
Yeah. So if you just traditional woman, why you ain't home with your kids? She's a hypocrite. I mean, it's just straight out like that. But so yeah, I mean, the way Vance hugged her, it's just like they had something going on. If they didn't, they at least had an experience with one another. I mean, you just don't grab a woman around her waist like that. I mean, if you go back and then she grabbed him all over and rubbed his ears and his neck with her two hands. We don't do that with people we're not affiliated with. I don't care if we ain't seen them in a long time. We kind of, we bump our shoulders together. We do that sideways hug. Oh yeah, and our shoulder, and our bottom regions, we make a marked effort to poke our butt out so nothing touch down there. Okay, they didn't do none of that. Okay, they were very engaged. I mean, I watched that like 4 times. Like, something is going on with that. So I mean, her integrity is already. I mean, let Candace tell it. We need Candace to talk about that one. Candace she'll bring that point home real good, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a lot I don't agree with Candace, but she's good. She's good for smoke. She's good for smoke, and so why not? And then I'm gonna bring
Erica had to stick Jigsaw on her, okay, to distract her.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to mention that Jigsaw is up. And you want to know something?
What?
I think she saw, I'm not trying to sound conceited, but I think she saw the show you were in when you mentioned Jigsaw, because she uses Jigsaw now.
No, she doesn't.
She does. She uses Jigsaw. She puts the mask up. Yes.
Well, and do you know what? We got a Jigsaw number 3 too. And I named that. I was making a comment on the post. Somebody had this woman. I don't even know exactly who she is, her position for sure. But she was arguing with Whoopi Goldberg, and then somebody came with receipts and tore this Republican lady up. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, please put it in the chat. Because she's some kind of prosecutor or something for the government at this time, and she's like one of them strip mall, parking ticket lawyers. But she's up there in this highly esteemed position, and she's talking about what Biden did and all. She can't answer a direct question, but they running her on the View. Yeah, and Whoopi was coming sideways at her, but it was a lady that was sitting right next to her. She was like taking meat off the bones, like she couldn't really. She kept talking about Biden. You guys, if you haven't seen that, I'm quite sure it's out here. Take a time to go.
I'll have to
You
grab
will
that
not
for
be
Saturday.
disappointed. Not be disappointed, DJ. It was going. I mean, I had to watch that. I'm like, oh, Whoopi was all discombobulated, but she couldn't get that point out because the lady that was sitting next to the lady that was running it to her, she was doing all the dog whistle actions, and that's what made it go on without anybody blowing up. Because she was shaking her head and looking so sincerely and accepting what she said, but then she'll take that straight razor. I'm like, ooh, that's nasty. Y'all gotta go see that particular video. Really, it definitely will not be a disappointment to you. But so we'll be looking forward to that type of thing on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. And then we still there's more. Look, there's more stuff on Melania. This
Oh
somebody
yeah.
caught her in a heavy duty lie. Then of course we'll go over the situation with Candace where they took that photo of her. She did a good. I have to admit, she did a great job bouncing back from that. She actually told everybody it's for real picture. That was when she was sick. It's sad that they went that low, but she broke it down. So yeah,
Oh, so I thought that was photoshopped. So that
no,
picture is actually wow. Okay, you're telling me
yeah,
something.
no. It's a long story. It's a long story behind it, and she brought receipts. So yeah, so Saturday should be really interesting. Um, this is, I think there's going to be there's obviously going to be another part to this Clay and Megan thing. Something's going to come out sooner or later, and
Oh,
it
and you
may
think
not
it's
be
gonna be a
directly.
baby? Something?
Ooh, that would be. Oh man, that would be some. That would be cool. But no, I think some more. Either some women on Clay's side is going to come out,
Oh yeah.
or some hypocrite's going to come out. Somebody's going to call Megan a 304, and then of course that man will have a history himself, and something like that's going to happen. So that'll probably be the next thing on that. But yeah, so lot going on, a lot going on. But gee, yeah. Anyway, I think that's enough for tonight. I mean, we did. Thank you so much for coming up. Thanks, Ghost, for coming up. The Deontay, thank you for coming up. Um, Saturday night, it's going to be pretty good. So I know that a lot of people have a lot of things to do on a Saturday night. So you know, it should be fun. It should be fun.
Oh
Any
yeah. I
last
know I'll be in the house. I'll be here. I'll make sure that I'm here.
that'd be great because I'm, believe it or not, I am not a big political buff, but it's gotten interesting. But it's like I love to hear from you, Goes. I said what I said, and Deontay. You guys have great knowledge. So I'm really looking forward. I might just I might just be like a little bit a host and let you guys rock. So, say my little 2 cents and then that's it. And then you guys can rock. But
Oh no, DJ, you do too. Your perspective is what a lot of times what drives this channel and how you navigate and move this thing. So I look forward to all of us engaging. I don't know you.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun. But yeah, I guess we're going to have to go. We have to dig deep into Candace Owens as well as like, do we really believe, does she believe that like maybe she's getting her reckoning now? Because remember, she's literally being sued by France. We could just say France. I mean, it's of course it's personal. It's it's the person who runs France' wife that's suing her. But she literally went to the mat for Mr. Orange Man, only to be turned on by Mr. Orange Man Does she feel the reckoning? I mean, that's the bottom line.
You know, if I had to make a guess on it, I don't think she does. I mean, because she had experienced this before, and then she tried to come clamoring back to, the black side of things. I don't know if you remember that, and we didn't accept it. We were like, you know what, we can have that, and so she still kept it up, and she still grew and regained her MAGA, or her Republican audience. If you
Mhm.
see that, 'cause look, she's even grown since then. But right now, I doubt if she truly feels it because they all are turning on each other. So this is a very chaotic time. So nobody knows where the dust is gonna settle. So she don't feel down for the count yet because look, who was that Tucker Carlson, the Fuentes, they all like are disbanding from Trump. So nobody knows where this thing's gonna end up. We just in a wild time right now. So I doubt if she's feeling discouraged at all. She's gonna have some type of follow.
Very well said. And that's what's crazy to me though, and where we'll be going over Fuentes too. I was shocked that he actually sort of took Candace's side, especially with his, he's made it clear he don't like us. So, and I think he knows that she's, at least physically black. So, well,
Well,
this is
they're
what it was.
allowed to do that. They're allowed to do that, DJ. I mean, if you look at, I mean, even to just be a black Republican at all, when they make it plain that, they're white supremacists, all these things like that. So, he's allowed to do that with the drifters or grifters or whatever you call them right now. Everybody, like I said, they are confused. They don't know where they're going to end up. But her principles, apparently, he agrees with her, her stance and her principles. So he's allowing that right now. When it's time to take her, Samboism and throw her away, he'll do that. But just like they always do, they'll use you, for points or political points or whatever. Just like,
Right.
like those black politicians that was that one who was he was a Nazi porn guy or whatever, corn
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, and they used him as long as they could, and then when he got voted down or something, I haven't heard from him since.
Is that
So I
Milo?
mean,
Is that
I don't
Milo?
know. He just said he
Okay.
was like the Gestapo porn guy. You know what I mean? And he was going to the shops and stuff, and telling his wife he was going to wash the car, but he was actually in the shop going to private viewings. Okay. So he was out there really bad. But like I said, when they get done using you, they will. So I mean her publicity and her audience is very large. So with him transitioning over, you still have the tight MAGA nuts, okay, in there. So he's clamoring for those that he loses when he, talks about Trump negatively. Some of them understand because they're going through it too, but then those ones that he's losing, those true hardcore, no matter what he does, he could shoot somebody on in the middle of Fifth Avenue in New York and not get, those types that are still following behind these egregious things he's doing, he's losing those. So, of course, he's going to tap into her platform to draw from there. So
Mm-mm.
that's probably the only reason why he's giving her credence at this point. I have no faith in any of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Wise Seeking Knowledge. Let me go ahead, hit the beat. I will see you Saturday night along with
Yes.
the crew, hopefully. Hopefully everybody will come. Thank you everyone for coming out on seeing this first chapter of Klay and Megan and Klay. And quite honestly, I hope they work something out. I really do. I hope they
What?
sit down
DJ, no,
and
you didn't.
what?
You want them to get babies. See, and that's
I
what
don't
I'm
want
saying.
them to
Then
get back
she'll be
together.
like every
No.
other black woman. Then she should have chose better. And then when you have 2 or 3 babies, outside babies on her, and then we'll be on about how she should have chose better.
No,
He
what I
knows,
want
and he
them to
knows.
do, what I want them to do for the black race is just represent themselves the best they can at this moment in time. And what I mean is
By
by not embarrassing us. Clay's kind of did a really good job so far of doing that. But basically the thing is that they can still be friends. And I mean, like friends, not like, oh, let's hang out, friends. I mean, like, it didn't work out. This, Clay's a hoe, but he still did some nice things, and just call it a day. And what I mean is that they can still teach low-hanging fruit that there's better ways to behave. And I think Megan's done everything right. She has a right to rant. He knows it's not like this is new. See, the problem I had with Stephen Fetchit A. Smith was that he tried to make it sound like, this never happened to Klay before. And he tried to put the onus on Black women and on Megan. When the bottom line is that you cannot control how people will respond if you betray them, especially as much as he did. The level of betrayal can always be debated, but it's clear she was betrayed.
But I don't agree with you on this point, DJ, because Rihanna is still getting dragged for hanging out with Chris Brown after that beating. Okay,
you gotta be kidding.
They still be like, and she was hanging with him because they hate Chris Brown. I hated him after that ever since. That boy don't get gigs and things like that. They still, even though he's still very popular, he still goes through a lot from the beating with Rihanna. Because I didn't know about that trans whatever and things like that. He's had other incidences as well, but that particular one, it spiraled him into this, unapproval thing. And like I said, she got dragged for. Even because she was like, well, I forgave him, this and that. They drug her in the media. They did.
And they should have. I can understand her forgiving him. I can understand her forgiving him because that's how she moves on. Mm-hmm. But the problem, I think, is that he should have done time. He should have done time, and he didn't. And
I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, what he did was egregious, DJ. But if you compare it to how they handle domestic violence case, I mean, we have a lot of women, and unfortunately, this wasn't handled extremely specially different than what we see the normal is. Like I said, Black women are the least protected out of anyone. Okay, so I see things. They put a woman in a hospital here. They butt is on the street next week. So they didn't handle this any different. If she was Becky and she, oh my God, the man, he's probably still being it. He'd have just got out. We'd have had to come home party for Chris and see if he can get his career back moving. But because this woman is quote unquote Black, she has a melanin level, okay, that includes her in this being least protected situation. Okay, so what he ended up getting because he was a celebrity, I think he had custody of his own child too. But he had to do community service. And this happens here under the same types of situations with Black women. I think they do it with white men too because of the patriarchy. They show favor to them too. So women are just not. Women are just not protected.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you just brought up a good point because look how little Sharon Moore did to literally almost go to prison for like 5 to 10 years. I mean, he just barely got out of that situation, and he didn't do nearly what Chris Brown did.
Let me tell you what he did. Well, that I know that he did. They actually called him before this whole thing blew up, and the patriarchy tried to protect that man, and they were like, look, we know what y'all doing over there, this and that or whatever. You have to, so he fired her. So I guess as a jilted lover, and then she knows she holding that, that card. She popped that Uno reverse down on him and said, hey, I got white skin. Excuse me, this man has been having sex with me and I'm traumatized. Oh, that's all she had to do.
That's
and then it fired. See, I think he fired her or he demoted her. He did something to like get her away from him because they hipped him to like, look, we're gonna do something. This out here. What we gonna do? So but she didn't take that well. Even though she knew the situation, apparently she didn't love him at all. She was floating around for the money and the fame or whatever. So even though he had to do that to save himself, she took it as a blow.
Right.
And she went back to them same people and said, excuse me, this man, I was scared of him and everything, you know. He was over me and they rolled him, they jigger rolled him. And that's what they did. And so he took the whole, that's why. And then, like you said, for him to be able, to catch the time, he went over there with a knife to his own throat saying he was going to kill himself. He was more suicidal, but they took that as an assault or something on her but let that be me or you or let that be a black woman. It probably wouldn't even make the media. And then he, they was just, he's crying out for help. But when he went over there, they took it as him trying to kill her. And I think one of his accusations was that, correct?
Right. That is correct.
Mhm.
That is correct.
Yeah, with a butter knife to his neck, a butter knife, not even a real blade.
Right.
And look what they were ready to drag him.
Yeah.
So that's how that situation went.
Yep. They were ready to put him in for a couple years at least.
For a butter knife to his own neck. I mean, can you imagine, DJ? I don't know. What would you do if you lost that amount of money? I don't know if I would do that, but I can't predict probably what I'd be going through really to be that blessed. And then I got house notes, I got car notes, I got the insurances, the kids in school, everything like that. I'm used to living this way for how many years? And then he just got that raise, correct?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. And can you imagine working all that hard? We have to be 10 times better than them and everything to even just like aspire to even be considered for anything like that.
And if
he had that butter knife by the nether regions, because that's what got him in trouble. I'd understand that a little bit more. What you say about that, Deontay?
Oh man, that's true.
Because that's what got him in trouble. That's the one he should have been holding it to and crying and doing that down there. Because if you have, that's a lack of self-control. And for us to revel and act like that's there's some thing that you just gotta say it's chalk that up because you have no self-control, but then you want to lead me and govern over me like I'm some kind of substandard thing under you. That's a huge problem. And like I said, we can talk about this thing as far as we're concerned because that's what we're concerned with. But there's a reason why the birth rate is dropping worldwide and women are opting out and men just act like they totally, the divorce came out of nowhere. I have no clue.
Right. Mm-hmm. Women are getting smarter and as you should because it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and since we're talking politics, DJ, if you possibly can, I was just reading past some stuff and I didn't explore it, but there was something dropped by the Department of Education and Judge, what's his name, that just was cheating on his wife and they ended up having trouble. The one I used to love, not Joe Brown, the other black judge. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he was online talking about how all the black beauticians get ready to go out of style because of something about this new Department of Education and their rules. I'm quite sure it has to do with our hair. So I don't know what that is, but it's going to probably you'll probably end up seeing some of the mushroom clouds from that bomb dropping. So if you could, if I could send you a few links, I guess.
Yeah,
definitely. I'll explore that.
Put it on for Saturday. This is my hope, theoretically, is I'm hoping we can make it, through the next 2 years. That's what I'm hoping. Because I think a lot of the stuff, I won't say a lot. No, I won't even say that. I'll say maybe 50% of the stuff that's being passed right now might be able to get reversed. We don't know. But
I think that too. You're right, DJ. But see, we have to still get people involved. It was bad enough. When Barack got elected, there are a lot of people that voted who don't usually vote, just for what was at stake at that time. But people feel, I was talking to a guy, I had just voted. I had my sticker on. I said, did you vote today? Oh, I don't do that. I don't get into that. And usually I try to enlighten, but I can feel he was so gone that it wouldn't make a difference what I said. Because they're cutting a crooks right now. Because you had a black woman, they still have all this mama trauma, that they hate their mothers for chasing their dads off. When this came up in the manosphere, I remember when that table turned. Okay, because men will be on there, yeah, women, but not my mama, my aunties, my sisters, my cousin. And I remember one day this dude actually spoke to, well, what about your one? What about your mama? And dude he took a pause for a minute. He said, yeah, my mama too. My mama, yeah, all of them, every woman. This for real. I don't know if you was there for that, but ever since then now it was all women, your mama and everybody. Soon after that came the blaming of the mama for the daddy being gone. Because they drop lower and lower all the time. In order to keep fascination, you got to be able to do different stuff all the time. Nobody going to go to the same show and watch the same juggler juggle the same 3 balls. You know what I mean? You're going to have to do something different to keep and maintain those audiences. So it gets grimier and grimier and grimier all the time to maintain, the fascination of these audiences. And that has been, it's been a straight nosedive. It's really been horrible, but it's been a straight nosedive. And that was one of them. You don't remember that one, huh? Oh, I've been there. I've been there. Yeah, we'll talk some more about it on Saturday.
All right. So anyway, there's a hint. I couldn't keep it from us. That's Erica's presumed new boyfriend on the screen.
What? Uh-oh. I'm not close to my phone. Oh, no. Okay. Don't take it off yet. I don't see it.
Oh, yeah. Let me make it bigger.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, that's not true. I'm not even going to do that. Stop it.
You don't think it's true?
No, there's some kind of PR or something like that. There's no way, as much as this group hate, if they really want people to cleave on to this toxic, false Christianity principle so they can think that they can morally, backpedal the United States into women sitting back in front of the stove and then, so that's like a whole big ploy to like force women back. That's something that the Republican Party offered men for its popularity, is to have that woman slave again. So for her to, and then you have a lot of racists and things over there. I mean, for her to accept a black, no way. When they're teaching them, they're teaching them to hate at the same time. I don't put nothing past them though. We definitely gonna chop that one up on Saturday.
Definitely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is DJ Torch. I'm about to hit the beat. Here we go.
Good night, all.
Good night, everyone.
It's about to go down, baby.
Oh, let me bring up the. Shout out to everyone tonight. Thank you for coming through. I said what I said in the chat. On stage, while seeking knowledge, wisdom ain't cheap. Henry Mars, new dawn for you.
Voices are warm, the vibe is clear.
Kevin, lifestyle guy.
And friends, it's about to go down. It's about to go down.
JHDX.
Laughter and truth, a gentle sound. Hearts open wide when the love goes round.
Of course, Corey Colburn.
DJ Torch. And friends, it's about to go down.
And everybody in the replay game.
Love goes around and everybody knows. Love goes around from me to you. Love goes around, it always comes through.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night.